Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. Today I decided to create this really dark type of eye look with, I'd say, a nude orange lip. You can see this is the one I wore from the trio set that I bought. This is the second lipstick, so tomorrow I'll wear the third one and show you guys, but I am so glad that I'm able to share this with you because I do like how this turned out, especially with pressed glitter, and some of you might be new to trying pressed glitter. So if you want to see how to create this look, then stay with me and let's begin. Get this powder off my face because it's been sitting on my face. It's been sitting on my jaw for the last, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. And now we're still going to have dinner out because that's what we were going to do anyway, but we're going to have the movie, we're going to see a movie. Maybe you guys have heard of it, Godzilla versus King Kong. I don't mind that type of action. It's other sort of Terminator stuff. I'm not really into that, or what's the other one? I can't think of it at the top of my head, but I prefer that sort of thing. So I'm okay with Godzilla versus King Kong. That's what we're going to see at 8:20 p.m. and then we're going to, well, before that we're going to have dinner at a Thai restaurant, which I've been to before. It's delicious. I love Thai food. So anyway, that is the plan for this Saturday for the three of us, and I'm really looking forward to it. Just had to sort out things like tickets and, you know, bookings. So now it's all on the way coming, and yeah, I'm excited. The rest of my face, the eyes. I used the XNO Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. This one is called the Cupcake by Adrielin. I hope I explained that correctly. And check out how beautiful the shades are in this palette versus the shimmers, and as well as shimmers and mattes inside. We've got some pressed glitter, which I'm going to be using on my eyelid. You probably can see that already. Notice that it's got a bit of a dome, which means by having a dome, the top part of it is definitely going to get into the deeper parts of the skin. Because if you have hooded eyes like I do, you'll know that there is a dip where your crease is, okay? For other eyes, I still need to do some research on that, but I believe that hooded eyes are the ones that have the more of a dip. So it definitely, with the dome, it definitely gets into smaller gaps of the eye. And 6 feet, I'm also going to create what looks like a dome shape, leaving a little bit of area on my lid that doesn't have any eyeshadow on it. I want to leave my lid bare. I consider a fair bit of patting for this. If you're feeling that your eyelid is dragging, that is when I would pack on eyeshadow or apply it with a patting motion rather than a swipe or a circular motion. Your skin is going to tell you whether or not it can handle what you are doing to it. People have noticeable dark bags under their eyes, or they have lines that they aren't proud of or don't want to be noticed. So that is probably why they would use a concealer to dim that. But anyway, we're going to get into that another time because I just really want to get into cutting the crease here. Flat brush when I'm concealing, or a very tiny brush that has a small tip so I can really create precision on my eye. It's like using an eraser cleaning up a section that you want to be I'm trying to think of another word for neat, but you want to take out all the bumpy lines or any sort of eyeshadow blending, and you just want it to be straight line or curvy line, depending on what sort of eye look you are creating here. When I started using makeup, I was definitely using a lot of liquid products. Like I would use liquid foundation, I would use liquid concealers. I'm not saying I don't do that anymore, but I'm not as fussy now. So that's why I'm happy to use just cream. It's got a different texture, obviously, to a liquid. A liquid, you've got to let it dry and then you can set on a powder. But obviously, if I'm using cream, I don't have to wait. You know, I can straight on apply a powder. So maybe that's what it is. I prefer this tip because it's a lot quicker. And it depends on how long you want to take to get ready in the morning. Some people really want to take their time. Now on my finger here, I'm using the shade Outbreak. Okay, and that is what I would consider a pressed glitter. You can tell it's pressed glitter. It's easy to place your finger into it. I use a finger because I find it makes more sense to apply that in sections of my eye, but I'll go into that later on. Also, pressed powder is a pressed glitter. It's soft, so you don't need to think that it's going to be gritty or graze your eye or anything like that. You just need to find the ones that basically feel like you're adding butter on your eyelid. And I tap it on, I do not drag it. Can we see that showing up? Now you can definitely see that there are some areas of my eye that aren't filled in, and that's why I would use a smaller brush. This is, I consider it to be a pencil brush, and then I'm going to go back into the pressed glitter and add it in the corners. So what you might want to do is get a fluffy brush after you've drawn your line so it's not so heavy, and blend it a little bit more. I would use my previous shades, like the 6 feet. Do I want to use the pencil? No, I use a bit more of my finger and just fill in that gap. It could be because the products you're using on your eyes don't work for them, and I would take the makeup off as soon as you have a chance to do that, because itchy eyes to me basically says this product doesn't work for me. This product is too much, or you've put it way too close to your eye, and you can make a really great makeup look without having your product too close to your eye or anywhere near parts of it that are going to look, you know, make you irritated. And also, sometimes people feel itchy because they're tired as well. So if you're feeling like that, it is definitely an idea for you to take your makeup off and then rest your eyes. Something that doesn't look like it's going to budge easy, then maybe you do want to use like a wet wipe and to get that off. But I'm not too fussy about it, that's just me, that's how I roll. Okay, let me get my angle brush here so I can actually get some brows done here. Now I'm just trying to remember what I did with my brow brush. I don't drag it down, okay, not a diagonal line. I like to bring it outwards because I still want it to shape my eye. I don't want it to go near my eye. I want it to be sort of like an umbrella. Okay, it's covering it from any rain. But in this case, it would be covering it to fit the shape of your face. All right, what I want to do next is the contour ring. I use my unicorn brush today. Oh, in case you guys don't know, I did use a foundation and then I placed a powder over the top. I find that that stops the foundation from moving around. There are products you can use that don't specifically need a powder, but I like what I use right now. So I do still need a powder to set it down. Okay, as for contouring, bronzing, sorry, I'm going to be using a thicker. Okay, so let's start with the contouring. As you can see, they both have angles, all right? There's no, we know they both have angles, but what is different about this brush and this one is that this is a lot thicker. I can see it looking frontwards. And I also know that this one is going to actually focus on the contour part. So if you don't already know what a contour is, it's basically what we call the line for your cheekbone. Okay, so you'll notice that people who don't have contour, but their cheeks are already, you can see a line. You might be able to see a very soft line or shadow. They might focus more on bronzing and blushing because they already have that defined type of face. Whereas people like me who have more of a chubbier face, and that's okay, I'm quite proud of my shape, would probably focus more on contouring because then we can make our faces a little bit more defined using a contour brush. But if you use a thick one like this one, you will notice that it comes across as more muddier. It looks like someone's just decided to paint your face. And also you want to make an effort to not have a heavy contour with your tiny brush either. So I like to just pack it on, lift it upwards. Bronze contour palette, well, it's got two bronzers, one highlight, one contour. I'm going to use the bronzer here, which actually this is supposed to be, that's interesting. So apparently this is supposed to be contour and these ones are supposed to be bronzing. That's really interesting. Well, it certainly doesn't work for my face. I use that for other things. I don't use that for contouring. As you know, my skin is darker than that, so I wouldn't want to use a contour shade that's lighter than my skin. So I'm just going to basically bring this around my forehead, bring it down to my cheekbone, place it over the top of the contour, but because it is a bigger brush than the contour brush, it will definitely focus more on being a shadow. All right. When it comes to a blush brush, I really don't think there's a specific brush for a blush. I personally wouldn't use my unicorn one for blush. I wouldn't, because I find that blush has to be something where you use a lot. Well, it's basically something that you want for a big space on your face, and you need a bigger brush for it. So that's why I would use this one. I would even use this for a blush. Okay, they are different. I would even use this for a blush. These three I would use for a blush. There are bigger ones like this one. I sort of feel like that's hit and miss. I'd use that more for a face powder than a blush. I want to have a bit of definition with a blush, but not to the point where I'm contouring. I'm not going to be making a line of blush. I'm giving it, how do I say this? Just a, I want to say a pom-pom of blush. Just like an area that looks like I'm got a bit of color on my face. Blush and bronzer I consider to be very similar, but bronzing I would use on my forehead and my cheekbones. Blush I would just use on my cheeks. If you do like those lipsticks that I've been trying on today and yesterday, gosh, it's hot in this house now. Whew. They don't last very long when you eat, so wear them because they're pretty and they feel creamy and smooth and moisturizing, but don't wear them when you're going out and about if you want them to last all day, because I can tell you now they won't. I had to reapply it just now. I've had to wait for this camera to charge for a while, but that's okay, we won't get into that. So anyway, this is what I consider everything done with my hair down and the makeup, and hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. I explained to you the best way possible, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.